What's going on, guys? Today I have a Saberforge Grandmaster hilt. This is a hilt that actually has the etching throughout it, so if you want to take a quick look at that. And this was a third commission out of my 3 commission spots that I opened up on September 1st. The second one, if you're going to notice that there's a gap, that the second Saber has not been released yet. And that's because I had talked to the customer, and we are just waiting on a Vader's Vault 7/8 inch NeoPixel blade to come in, so I can just do some testing on it just to make sure that the hilt is set up the way I wanted it. So I talked to the customer, and they're fine with that. They understood that that might have happened, and so that's kind of what we are waiting on. But yeah, so this is the third of the 3 commissions, and as I mentioned in my last video, the last Ultimate Works Dooku video, that I will not be opening up commissions right away because I'm doing some work for Derek at Phoenix Props. And so this will be my last commission for probably about another month. Sorry about that, guys. It's just kind of, it is what it is. I got a really good opportunity, and I'm excited to show it with you. So that being said, this is, like I said, the Saberforge Grandmaster hilt. It has a Prizm version 5.1, a deep blue, blue-white Tri-Cree LED, 2 illuminated switches. These are both illuminated blue. A Saber Essentials 28mm bass speaker, an 18650 lithium-ion high-drain battery, and an internal recharge port. I also wanted to give a quick shout-out to Ryan Greer over at Red 5 Customs, who makes this stand as well as a bunch of others, and he makes awesome stands. So definitely check him out on Etsy, and I will leave a link in the description below. Put that down. Anyways. Okay, so in order to get this hilt booted up, you have to unscrew the pommel, take off the pommel cap, which is it's a deep threaded pommel. There you go, put that to the side. And then the chassis is very loose in there, which is good because when it sits in, it sits in well. And you want to just pull it out enough. You can pull it out all the way if you want to, but you don't need to. And then you just have to reach in far enough to get to the kill key, and then you can pull it out.
I was once a Jedi Knight.
And so before I get into anything, if you need to access the SD card, flip it over, pull it out a little bit more, and your SD card is right there. In order to get the SD card out, you have to squeeze right here on the chassis just a little bit. Because the way this chassis is designed, the SD card rubs up against the edge here, which I've talked to Darth 3O about. But you just give it a quick little squeeze, and then you pop it out, and it comes out fine. But the customer shouldn't have to do that much. So I'm going to flip that back over. I'm going to put that back in. Keep the kill switch, the recharge port, lined up with the cover tech and the switches right here. That is the way I've done it because of the way the wires run, it works better. And then just gently push the the chassis back into the hilt. And I use an Allen key sometimes just on the edge of the speaker. If you push it in the middle, you'll break the speaker, but just on the edge, there's a hard plastic you can gently push with until it's in enough, and then you can use the pommel to push in the rest of the way. So I'll do that. So I talked to the customer, and because there's so many sound fonts, they opted to go with 2 banks that just have Obi-Wan style sounds, and then a final bank that or 2 final banks that have different Old Republic sounds. Both of which are, one's Dark Side Relic by Shamim, and the other one is, I don't know the name of it, but it is from the CF9 files, and so I'll have to get the name of that. But yeah, so right now we have 1 blue illuminated switch, and then when you turn the Saber on, both will illuminate. So power on is your upper switch. And then you'll see the switches will kind of go through a pattern that I've pre-programmed, which again, you can change all that in the settings. Lower switch is your auxiliary. And you can. That's all to turn off. I'm going to switch not to the next bank, but to 2 banks.
So you're from a race too stupid to recognize Jedi?
Okay, so I thought I was on the first Obi-Wan bank. I was on the second, so I'm just going one bank ahead. This is the first of the Old Republic fonts. This one was, I want to say it's bank 7 on the Crystal Focus 9 default files, but don't hold me to that number. Then you have some blinking back and forth. Then
Dark Side Relic.
Dark Side Relic. Then back to the first.
Hello there.
Obi-Wan bank. Then I'll go to the second one.
Stretch out with your feelings.
Yeah, so I am going to take just one, just an Allen key. I'm going to quickly take out the blade plug that is provided from Saberforge. Then I'm going to grab my 1-inch blade, just a test blade. Tighten the set screw, thumb tight. You don't need anything more. If you go any more than that, you can strip it, and there you go. And then one thing to add to the customer is that because it's a royal blue, white, tri-clear LED, you can only have so many colors, obviously, blue and white. And so what I did was I programmed a deep blue, a silver blue, mostly white, but a little bit of blue, and then just a straight up white. So you can kind of cycle through those by pressing these two together. So this one is the like blue white, even though it's hard to tell, it is like a silver. And then this is just straight up white. And then when you turn the saber off and back on, it will remember the last sound or the last color that you put on that bank. So you have a couple options to kind of customize that and do with it as you wish. So let's get this out. That to the side. Blade plug back in. That goes there. Oops. Put that aside. And that is really it. Like I said, this was it's a Saberforge build, so it's a little bit of a quicker build. Pretty straightforward, to the point, and simple enough. So, excuse me. I hope you guys liked the video, and like I said, I hope the customer loves it. It's a very pretty hilt, and yeah. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.